it seems like Arizona's always in the news. At least I feel like it is. Look, if you are thinking about moving to Phoenix and you're really wondering about how inflation has hit the people that live here and what it feels like, looks like, what the cost of living has changed, because I'm telling you, if you go online, you're not going to find any of this information. I'm going to break it down for you as I live here and live this chaos. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to tell you exactly what it feels like, looks like, and is in the greater Phoenix area. Hello, this is Sheryl Willis over at the Real Agent Now group right here in Phoenix, Arizona. And if this is the first time to our channel, you're going to want to tap that little subscribe button and click that little bell so that you are notified each and every time we release a new video. We are getting dozens of calls every single day, and we love it. Look, if you are thinking about moving out to the Phoenix area and you're really trying to weigh out the pros and cons, you have a lot of questions, you want to know what area, what things cost, also just, like what's it like to live here and eat, drink, sleep, entertainment, activities, freeway traffic, all of it. We want to answer your questions, even if it's a year or 2 years in advance. Let me tell you, you just need to pick up that phone, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, days, nights, or weekends. We got your back when moving to Phoenix, Arizona. All right, guys, so we all know inflation is hitting everyone across the country, but it has hit Phoenix especially hard. Again, we've been in the news being ranked as, if not the top city, one of the top cities that are experiencing the highest inflation. Now, one of the things I do have to say, inflation can change. Cost of living is kind of more of a consistent numbers. So it's not unusual when you look at all of the fastest growing cities, counties, and states in America, that what's happening is there's so much pressure from the influx of people. It really weakens the entire supply chain. And I don't mean necessarily things being transported in from another country. What I'm talking about is there is just a weakness, a demand of everything. We need more food, we need more gas, we need more housing. And so obviously with the higher demand, then the inventory gets sucked up, no matter what you're talking about, and prices start to go up because the more people will pay for it, sellers of whatever kind are thinking, well, we'll bump up the price. So it just gets out of hand. And again, Arizona is not the only city that is experiencing. Any of the other cities, Atlanta, both Dallas and Houston, and even parts of Florida. Again, where we saw the biggest influx of new people is where we are seeing the highest amount of inflation. Now, I have to tell you, in the last 30 to 45 days, since we have now seen interest rates double to slow this down, we have started to see some of those costs easing a tad bit. Here is one big, huge part: housing. Housing is such a big part of it. And to be honest with you, buying or owning a home is not part of the CPI, it's rents. And rents had risen here in the greater Phoenix area over the last 2 years, like 125%. It was ridiculous. Like, we've never seen that much movement, and it had a lot to do with so many people moving in and not wanting to buy right away, not being able to qualify, whatever the situation was. We had so many people moving here that we would have like literally 5 applications on every single home. And there was actually a time it was like more like 20 applications on one day. And so the landlords were like, make us your highest offer. And those rents just went pew, 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 and it went crazy. Now, here's the good news. From September of 21 to September of 22, the appreciation that had been incurred at the previous time of the year has gone back down. And the year over year, I bit my cheek. Isn't that like, of course, when I'm trying to shoot a video, so I'm slurring a little. Anyways, year over year, September 21 to September 22 is a flat line, thank goodness. And currently right now, we have seen over 125% increase of rental inventory. So what am I trying to tell you? rents are going to continue going down. It takes, you know what, they go up fast and they go down slow. It's kind of like gaining weight. It seems like you can go away for the weekend, have a great vacation, you gain 10 pounds, and then it takes you 3 months to lose it. What the heck? It's the same thing with rents. Again, it's a great thing to see it come back down and now plateau for a year over year. So this is going to be a great thing for anyone that is renting, because anyone that is now paying more than what the median price is, they're going to move at the end of their lease. And when those transitions start and these rentals there's, like I said, a glut of rentals right now on the market, when the rental rates go down, I think we're going to see so much else come down as far as cost of living, because we also have higher utilities here in the greater Phoenix area, which I don't understand why. We have enough sunlight to power the entire country. Oh, wait, that's right. Solar's not cheap, although it should be cheaper than what it is. There are some great incentives right now with the government, the federal government. I love it how the solar peeps, they're always trying to sell you. And I will say this, if you plan on selling your home in like the next 10 years, don't do solar, because all the solar leases or even the financing, they tell you it adds value to a home. It does not. And there's nothing worse from a buyer perspective. They love a house. They get qualified for the home. And then there's a solar lease. Don't do it. All right. That's just my 2 cents. But the solar peeps, they'll come in and tell you it's going to add value to your home. And there's a new rebate, a tax refund, tax incentive, whatever. It was supposed to be 26% this year, and then they were telling you it was going down to 22% next year to kind of push consumers into moving forward with those solar panels. And now it's 30% rebate and kind of like, stick your foot in your mouth. Like, so I'm on the fence about the whole solar thing. If you're gonna do it, buy it, or also buy the battery. I have a client that just leased it. You guys, it was $66,000. That's insane. And she still has to use her power during the sunlight only. So she's still kind of at the mercy. I asked her, I said, well, did you get the battery so that you can store your solar energy and then use it in the night? And she's like, no, those are so expensive. They're like $10,000 a battery. I'm like, so it's not quite perfected, but it is. They're just like holding on to it. So when that happens, I'll let you know. I will. I'm always brutally honest. Okay, so utilities have gone up. So for homeowners here, my recommendation is do everything you can to buy a home that's either energy efficient or make it a priority to make your home energy efficient. That does not mean solar necessarily. It does mean a good roof. It means good windows. If your windows have broken seals, get those fixed. All of our windows here in the greater Phoenix area, since the 90s anyways, are double pane, and there is a seal that goes around the window, and at about 20 years of life, give or take, those seals start to break, blister, whatever you want to say. And so they're compromised. So those windows are less energy efficient. We were once about 4 to 6 months behind on windows. That's insane. Like if you wanted new windows, you had to order them 4 to 6 months in advance. Well, now they're about 4 to 6 weeks. So see, that tells you that some of that is lightening up. It also pays to shop. Let me tell you, I sold a home, very large home. They were going to replace all of the windows. First window company came in and said it was going to be 4 to 6 months, and they said it was going to be $110,000. What? And then the second one came in and they said 70. So, and by the way, they can get them in like 8 weeks. So we have all these names of contractors and referrals. We will give you these names and numbers if you are interested in obviously saving a ton of money, both from the energy aspect and upgrading and updating your home. There's so many things. Like you can even just plant certain trees in the direction where the sun goes down. And so you'll get earlier shade where your home can cool off. That doesn't cost anything. Newer ACs are much more energy efficient. And now there is this new power source. This is available both on pool equipment and also ACs, and it's probably available on other things. It's called a variable speed. And so equipment doesn't necessarily have to be on or off. There are sensors that could maybe, instead of, like I said, on or off, like I think even a car is the same way, that when you come to complete stop and then you go forward, you're using more gas versus just kind of rolling and then accelerating. Am I like totally like sticking my foot in my mouth? I don't know. But what I was going to say is, again, these variable speeds, I know for like the air conditioning units here, they don't turn completely off and they just go very, very, very low. And also because it's very, very low and it's a constant, not only is it using less energy when it needs to vamp back up, but it also continues to remove the moisture from the home. That also makes it a more pleasant environment. So there's a lot of different like science behind living in higher temperature cities. But let me tell you, we've had a couple of buyers that have moved here from Texas, and they said, here's the problem with the heat in Texas. The homes and ACs down there are not ready for temperatures over 100 degrees. We here in Arizona build homes and use air conditioning units that are prepared for 110, and no, it doesn't get to 120 every single year. It's hot though, I'm not gonna lie. But the point is we're prepared for that kind of weather. And I'll tell you, talk about something that's super unpredictable now, and it doesn't matter who's in the White House, it's the weather. It's been nutty everywhere. But back to what the costs are in the greater Phoenix area. Some of the other things, like as far as we've already talked about food, we do have a lot of farms here. We also have a lot of ranches here. So our food isn't actually one of the highest in the country. Like we're not even close. But when you take everything together, we're the highest, and that is mostly driven by housing. Our food compared to California, anywhere in California, is less expensive, but it's still much higher for people that live here. My son, who is like, I don't know where he gets this bougie attitude. He's got to eat at Whole Foods. He feels like he made a sacrifice by going to Sprouts. I just crack up. But he has to get his meat from a butcher. Well, now he's reconsidering. Maybe I don't go to the butcher every single week. I make it every other week. So people are starting to, again, kind of come down off that high horse, right? Now that things are expensive, people are spending less and they're looking for staying at home, lesser expensive, extravagant entertainment kind of activities. That's another thing I'll tell you. And again, it's a butterfly effect, right? When gasoline costs a lot of money, everything else gets more expensive. My favorite taco festival that just happened, because it's Hispanic Heritage Month, or I think it's actually called Mexican Heritage Month, I don't even know, in September. So we have an amazing taco festival. The tickets went from $17, $18 last year to $30 this year. It's a fun day and there's a lot of things going on and it's still worth $30, but I was still quite shocked. But a lot of this comes from gasoline. Our gasoline here in the greater Phoenix area is more expensive than like going up to Flagstaff. In fact, I go hiking up north all the time. So now I actually drive up to Payson with only like a half a tank of gas and I fill up there to come home. Here's the difference. Even though we all have the premium or the 87 octane and the 92, I don't even know what the numbers are. Maybe it's 89, 92. But anyways, here in the greater Phoenix area, because of the higher population and obviously the denser population, I should say, the city of Phoenix requires a higher, finer grade of petroleum. So that's why gasoline in California is so expensive, because they want a better quality gasoline, and that helps control their pollution. And that's what Phoenix does as well. So again, back in the regular days, gasoline was cheaper in the Phoenix area than it was in these more remote areas like Payson and Prescott and everything like that, because we had higher volume, higher usage. And so it was cheaper to fill up in the Phoenix area, and it was more expensive in these rural areas. Now it's the other way around. So, I mean, it's going to come around at some point. We're going to see many, not all, of the cost of living expenses come down. But here's one of the ones that I noticed the most. My favorite dollar store is no longer $1. It's $1.25. I think that tells you what's going on out there. Look, everything has gone up. My vet went from like $65 to $75 for a grooming. My favorite oranges, the cuties, you know, the ones that you just stick one fingernail in and then the whole shell or the peel falls off. Those are my favorite on a hiking on a trail. I used to get like a bag. I think it was a 3-pound bag. I want to say it was under $4. Now it's like 7 something. Meat is ridiculous. Like I would hope to get my ribeye. I try and find it on sale for under $14. Forget it. That's not happening these days. But there's still a lot of things, depending on where you're coming from, it's still not as expensive as living, I have to say this, California. It's still less expensive. So just to let you know, it's not that bad, but we are hoping that it will get back down in the next year or two with these higher interest rates and people spending less money. All right, guys, if you're thinking about buying a home in the greater Phoenix area and you want to know what it's like, because it's not, I mean, you still are going to have housing costs and the cost of living. But depending on where you're coming from, it still is most likely less expensive than where you're coming from. So give me a call. Let's have the conversation. Let's talk about it. Let's compare your city with our city, literally on every single level. I welcome the conversations. There I go again. Anyways, I'll see y'all soon. Thank you so much. Make your comments below. Follow me on my socials, and I can't wait to hear from you. All you got to do is pick up that phone, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. Days, nights, weekends, we got your back when moving to Phoenix, Arizona. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.